Hey everybody and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the basics of creating a simple file upload solution. This will be pretty much completely free because we're going to be using a free tier for Firebase, and I'm actually going to include the code for this as well. So basically, to give you a quick overview, this will allow a user to click Choose File. They can then choose a file, which will show right here. And then just to show this in action, I'm going to refresh Firebase just to show you that there's no files here currently. Now, I can go to this window and click Upload. And then when I do so, you have this prompt, which you can remove if you want, but the idea is it shows you the download URL. When I go back to Firebase and click Refresh, you'll see I now have an Uploads folder. And when I click on that screenshot, I can now see the file that I previously uploaded. So it's a really straightforward form, and I'll walk you through two different methods to get it. The first one being the obvious, simply going to ChatGPT. The second one is using the actual code that I've displayed for free, and you can get this by going to codelessfix.com. There is a coded apps section, or you can just go to codes.codelessfix.app. So this location will probably change as far as where it is on the page, but it's currently up top along with several other free ones that you can copy. So let's go ahead and go to the first one just to show you the prompts that I used. Now, I don't want to go through all of this Firebase and all of this setup, but I just assigned the role saying take the role of an HTML expert, and then I asked for ChatGPT to use an HTML forms upload. Now, once this was done, I saw that it allows you to utilize a hypothetical endpoint and all of these other notes, and then I said, okay, now let's make it use Firebase. Now, once I got that, I continued through because there were some mild issues that I had to address, and then there were some security measures as well. And I will not be covering the security in this video, but basically what we ended up finally getting was the full corrected code. Now, this is the code here, and once we scroll through the code, you'll see that we also get the security fixes, which is going to be if you want to do uploads for authenticated users or public uploads. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and go through where I actually have this code displayed and go through the code together. Now, this is the HTML that I have. So let's go ahead and delete everything. And then what we're going to do is click Save. The reason I'm doing this is I have this file hosted on my desktop. So when I refresh the page, I just want to show you that now it's empty. So if we go over to codes.codelessfix.app, we can click the Copy to Clipboard button. And then we can go to our Notepad document or whatever editor you're using and paste it in. Now, you'll see we have a couple of things here which you could change. So the displaying success message, you'll see that it highlights file uploaded successfully and then the download URL. So you can change this content if you're interested. But I just want to do a really quick walkthrough of the code. So you'll see up here we have declared the HTML language, and then we have our header, which has a couple of things worth noting, such as the character set, the viewport height, basically just saying, hey, this is essentially full screen, and then the secure file upload to Firebase. Now, these two options change based on the my understanding is based on the method that you're using. So since we're doing this in a browser, this is the version that we're using. Now, we have a couple of other things that you can adjust. Most of this is just based on your specific needs. As you can see, these are the colors, size of the form, etc. And then you'll also see that we have our actual form container in this div section here. So you'll see that we have our H2 font saying upload a file, and then you'll see the file types, which covers quite a few different options. Now we get to the part that you're really going to need. So this portion here is the only part of this code that you technically need to modify to get this to work. So you'll see in the code that I've provided, I put in capital text here for all of these options. So if we go to Firebase, you'll see we have quite a few different options. Basically, you can go up here to this settings menu and click Project Settings. Now, when you do this, you'll have the ability to click Add App, and you can go through. The setup steps are very, very straightforward. You name it, click Add SDK, and it will prompt you or give you something like this. Now this is a test app that I'm using, so your content's going to be different, but basically you'll click on your web app, and then right here, this should look very familiar. So you'll see that we have this text here all the way down to here. So what we're going to do is basically we're just copying everything from our API key down to the app ID, and you'll see that it matches everything here. So we'll paste it in. It's usually good to indent to keep consistent formatting, but I'm not working with any super complex code right now. So now we're going to save this, and then we will go to our index page and click refresh. Now we're going to test this out really quickly. So we'll choose a different image. So let's just try this QR code and click upload, and you'll see it's uploaded successfully. So now we can go back to our storage in Firebase, and again we're using a free tier in Firebase, so there will be some limitations, but you'll see we have our last modified date and a couple of different options. So we can click on it and you'll see we have that QR code right there. So basically that was all that there is to it. Now when it comes to the security side, I'll give you a couple of pointers, but I try not to cover this mainly for liability reasons. So the reason this is working is because I've set this to be a public upload. So I will show this on the screen right here so that you can type it out if you're interested, but again, I'm not trying to provide that specifically, and that's intentional. So when we go to our Firebase storage options, so you'll have to go into Firebase, set up your project, and set up storage, which is really straightforward. Then you're going to rules. Now in this case, your rules will go in right here. So you would just copy and paste the rules that you want to use. You'll see right here, this says anyone can upload or read. So that, for obvious reasons, is not usually ideal. Now you do have the option to allow uploads for authenticated users, but you need to, as you see here, balance these for security and functionality. So you'll see this focuses on authenticated users or just allowing anyone to read the files and certain users to write. But you need to figure out what works best for you, because you'll see we have additional options here for authentication. And you can always ask ChatGPT, okay, how do I do this? Because then you need to authenticate users. So then your page becomes a bit more complex. Then it goes from a simple upload to maybe you need to have users sign in and things of that nature. But just using this sample code and some open rules, you'll see that we were able to successfully pull HTML, update the content, and then create this file sharing portion so that people can share various files and they can even access where the download URL is. So for example, if we copy this and paste it in here, you'll see we have that screenshot. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below, and I'll see you all in the next video.